What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session with Louis Philippe still down and out after laser eye surgery. I will be hosting today. And today we will be looking at polarizing the turn. Um, some strategies as to what to do and why to do it. So we will jump into some training work and then we'll look at some theory a little bit later. So let's first see if we can get into some trouble. And first on the grill is Dylan. All
Thank
right,
you.
Dylan, we got completed equity here on the turn. What do you want to do with this Queen 9 and why?
Well, he's now not folding a 10. He's certainly not folding some of the kings that he didn't check raises with on the flop. I'm going to try and check and realize my equity. We've got a decent flush draw. We can still hit the jack to make the straight, and the queen can be good. So it's going to be polar. It's either going to be check or bet reasonably big. But I think checking is good here. Also, by betting, what are we going to get to? What are we going to get to fold here? Maybe a five. I don't think a ten's going anywhere. So I'm going to lead towards checking here.
Okay. Yeah, some pretty reasonable arguments. So if you're going to check most of the time, what size would you bet infrequently here?
Um, I think if you're going to check most of the time, then you're going to lean towards a bigger bet and
Okay,
try and deny equity and also put pressure on hands that maybe would call on the flop, but then fold the turn.
sure. Okay. So what size would you bet with ace queen of spades, for example,
Or if
or
I
ace deuce of
okay.
spades?
If I have the nuts here, okay, I'm not going to bet huge here. I'm going to bet small again because I want the guy to continue with all his kings, all his
Okay,
tens with a draw. Yeah, I'm gonna size down there because we have the nuts, but I want to get push some money into the pot to build a pot.
okay. So like 55% then. All right, let's take a peek. Checking and 55% most of this stuff. So yeah, some really good rationalizations here. Haven't gotten scammed out of any points. You will have to play a river and tell us what you want to do. After check on the turn, player checks back on the river.
I think we can go for some value here. I think in the past I've been too scared far too often, and I would just check back and show over the nine high flush. But he's checked the turn and the river, so I think we can go for value here. Um,
Okay.
I'm going to bet maybe I'm not going to bet huge, but I'm going to bet at least half pot, maybe a little bigger. Yeah, I'm going to bet half the pot here.
Yeah, 6 chips. Okay.
Yeah,
So if this is a value hand that you're betting this size, what size are you betting ace deuce of spades?
that's a good question. Uh, Again, if the opponent had taken a different line, you could make bigger bets. But again, we still want to get called. If we bet too big, are we going to get called by a king? I don't think so. Are we going to get called by a jack or a 10? No. So maybe you still don't bet. You don't bet huge. Um, I want to get called. If we were shallower, a lot shallower, yes, I'm probably gonna stick it in, but we're not. So I'm still gonna head towards maybe half pot or less.
Okay. And then if you're doing that with your value, you think a bluff is going to be effective for 6 chips?
Um, I think it will be because what is the guy? What is he going to call you? It again. It depends what he has. I mean, you get some players who are sticky who are never going to fold the king regardless. Um, but I think if you're going to bluff, it's going to have to be at least half pot. Um, yeah,
Okay, let's take a peek.
sure,
Yeah, so a little bit more.
a
So
bit more.
here, all of your rationalizations for your value were good, but one of the problems is your bluffs need more gas in the tank.
Okay,
This is too easy for a king to still call,
yeah.
right? And so if you do have bluffs that want to go this size, then you get value that goes this size too. So let's take a look at this hand in a little bit more detail.
I
And
guess as well, what I've tried to learn is that I need to look at my range rather than the specific hand we're looking at. So therefore, the flush would bet bigger, the bluffs bet bigger, so we bet bigger.
yeah, yeah. And so here we see on the turn. mostly 55% with our value, this chunk here, and our bluffs, this chunk here. And then when we get to the river, we are slightly more polarized here, right?
Yeah.
And so the medium size is still pretty predominant, but the stuff that we want to go with the medium size is like two pairs and sets.
Yeah.
And then the straights and flushes want to size up a little bit more. So when we have the flush, particularly, we want to get value here because we have lots of straights, lots of sets, and lots of two pairs that are all taking a smaller size here. So holding the nine of spades, we want to get a little more value because we can still be called by our opponent's going to have lots of two pair here. So let's take a peek at what our opponent calls us with. We take this type of sizing, and we can see that our opponent is going to call with a straight, is going to turn a set into a bluff here. Weirdly, I guess, bit of an odd spot, but they only bluff a set of sixes. But they have to call with two pair. They can't really fold a king, even for the bigger price here. They're going to call occasionally with second pair, and they're even going to call some third pair type of stuff with some bluff catching things. So if your opponents aren't wide enough in game with bluff catching here, then maybe you can size down to give them a little more grace to catch a little more often. But yeah, if we have bluffs that want to bluff this size, right? Our unmade hands, we take a look here: 9-7, 8-9, Queen 8, Jack 7, Queen 4. All of these signs need to get a little bit more fold equity, and so we see the bigger sizes coming in more predominantly with them, with the 8 and the 15. So we're
That
gonna
makes a lot
match
of
that with
sense.
some value with like Ace Queen of Spades, King Queen of Spades, Ace Queen with the Ace or Queen of Spades, Ace Nine with the Ace or Ace or Queen of Spades. So yeah, always the eye value and bluffs go together. So good job.
Thanks very much for that, Peter.
No problem. All right, Taco. Let's see what we can do. Is Steve still here? Oh, I'm not sure he's still here. All right, Dean.
Hey,
All right, turn time. So flop, we see bet, they call. Turn comes, they check. What do you want to do with this hand?
I'd probably check it.
Yeah, yeah, pretty standard marginal made hand here. No reason to polarize. And opponent checks the
Uh,
river.
I'd check again still.
Yeah, very easy line in this one.
Yeah.
No polarization needed, and they just had trip kings. All right, here we go. Here's a much more interesting spot for you, Dean.
Hmm.
Ooh, what do you want to do with this hand here?
No, I'd probably still check it, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Checking. Okay. I thought it might go for thin value with the best second pair, but maybe I'm just a little greedy here. Okay. Oh.
No, we
Oh.
can go for some value.
Okay.
Um, can still get called by king and stuff. The 8.5.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So good polarization. This is pretty good bluff size here too.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, um, yeah, we're holding the ace of spades, so we
Yeah.
block value, so we're not so afraid. So good go for value. All right. Do we have any other
Art.
crawlers in the house this morning, Arturis?
Yeah, so
All right, Arturis. We're trying to work on polarizing turns. This might not polarize, but what do you want to do with this hand?
uh-oh. E8 we merge, I think. And this one we check. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
checking this, but E8 we merge.
yeah, check is okay here. Notice the sizing. If we do bet relatively small here, right? Only half pot, no polarized here. So we'll look at why in a little bit. All right, river comes down. Is there anything to do with this 8-7?
Well, he checks his two pairs, so I think we have to check.
Sure. Yeah, he has lots of two pairs as well. So just this. All right, we'll give you another one. All right, here we go. What do you do with this Queen 9 Arcturus?
Blast, maybe.
How big and why?
Um, so why? He has E6 floats, which I'll get there, which is not good for us.
Yeah.
The more I think of it, the less I see what we fold. We make some Queen 5 fold, stuff like that. We don't make much fold, to be honest. I see him solver resty. Anyway, so I check.
Okay, checks back. If you are going to polarize with a hand, what size would you choose here?
No, I'm not downsizing. Just whatever. Value is king 10 plus, so yeah. Around pot, yeah.
Okay, so checks with this hand. Very good choice. And we can see not polarizing very big here, right? Is the preferred sizing. Highest EV options are 1/3 or half pot. So let's take a look at this turn specifically and see what sizing things want to go. So here thematically, we see a lot of the 83 and a lot of the 55% and not very much of the 125. So good. Arcturus gets a point.
Oh, so why do we check nines? What do we make fold on the turn? Like random
So
queen 5, queen 7?
yeah, so here we have a bit of the 9 and the 10 going for it. When we bet this type of size, 55%, what better hands do we get than queen 9 to fold? He folds a little bit of ace high, right? He folds ace jack and ace 10 now. So we get a little bit of that. He folds twos and threes. Folds a couple of small fives here. Queen 5, 10, 5 occasionally. So do get a little bit of better stuff to fold, not a ton. But yeah, pretty thin spot. That's also why we see the smaller size here. So we've kind of gone through and we've looked at a couple of things. And before we go any further, when we take a look at turn strategy, one thing that I work with on a lot of students is when you have value that is vulnerable, that is usually the stuff that wants to size up the most. And when do we not want to size up? When the puzzle gets completed. And so we see here the puzzle is completed, the straight is in the house, and our size is driven down. Watch this. When we put up the bricky 2 of clubs here, all of a sudden the puzzle is incomplete. Now look at the radical shift in strategy. 125% and 83% are the predominant sizes. And so when the puzzle doesn't get solved on the turn, the straight or the flush doesn't get there, we often use a bigger polarized size. The more bricky the card in comparison to the board, the better it is. We could also see this when we turn up a hand like the Jack of Clubs here. Now we have a bunch of this polarizing as well, but we don't need to overbet nearly as much. This card is really good for us. It's really bad if our opponent holds a 5 or a 7. And so we don't need to put as much gas in the tank with this one. as we're going to have some more marginal hands where we've turned a jack or turned a straight draw at the top end and stuff like that that doesn't need to overbet polarize. But the contrast when we see this deuce of clubs, all of our kings are blasting here at really big sizing. So some stuff to take a look at as we go through some examples today. All right. Tom, let us know if you want to join in the fun and games here. Hmm, there you go. All right, Dylan, back on the grill.
Excellent.
Oops. And let's get to work. Archer set this example. Check. Easy game. All right, Dylan, did the puzzle get solved here?
No,
Yeah.
but so, and it's two flush draws, straight draw there, but
Mhm.
obviously now no king is folding. Uh, Jack's not folding, so I guess we can. Like I understand, do we want to check or do we want to bet big again? So it's going to mix surely.
Mhm.
Um, if we bet, we're going to have to bet pretty big with that dynamic board there. Um, so can we just check and realize the record here? We ahead of enough? This is a
Yeah.
horrible one.
Yeah.
So we're still ahead of a lot of flush draws. We're still ahead of straight draws. Um, I also don't want to bet. If I bet reasonably big and then I get check raised all in by some sort of big draw, that's not great. So check or bet big. I think I'm going to check here and then learn when I get it wrong.
No, check is going to be okay. The other thing is paired boards always drive the sizing down,
Yeah,
right? So check is really good here. And when we take a look at the expanded area, right, this is a spot where we're still pretty wide in our range. Our opponent isn't so wide in their range here. And so we take a look, 54% checking.
yeah,
We do get to bet pretty big when we have a king here and when we have a five here. And lots of our bluffs kind of take this more marginalized size. We're going to be able to use some flush draws for some big bets.
yeah,
So we see 8-6, 7-6, right? All of the stuff that blocks our opponent maybe holding a five is really taking this big size that we want to go with our value with a five, right? And then, yeah, a little bit of stuff with some of our value portion as well. Best kings and pocket aces. So,
will some of
uh,
our better flush draws choose to check to realize their equity and the worst ones bet?
yeah. When we take a look here and we go through, we can see a bunch of our spades at the bottom and at the top are betting,
Yeah,
and then hearts. We're just betting a little bit more robustly, right? So using a smaller size. So the more frequently we do it, the smaller the size we use.
makes
And
sense.
so, yeah, hearts doing it a little bit more than spades here. If you're bluffing all your hearts and all your spades, you're going to be bluffing too much and you're not
Yeah.
protected by enough strong kings and enough fives. So beware barreling all your flush draws in this type of spot. So really good find of a check back with pocket sixes, like even pocket kings or pocket kings, pocket jacks, pocket queens, all pretty much checking here. A little bit of small bet, but not really a big part of the strategy for that. All right, River, what do you want to do with these pocket sixes?
His bet's so small.
Mhm.
He doesn't have a five to bet that size. I think we just, I mean, just by the pot odds and what he bets, I'm just going to call here,
Yeah, licking a couple of chips ain't gonna be bad.
and that's wrong. Okay.
Oh, surprising. It's the only thing it's not doing.
Wow. Okay.
It is turning this hand into a bluff or giving up. But I mean, the equity's pretty close. I mean, this seems like a bit of a spew to jam this one in, but
I,
I
I,
guess we
I,
pull the
I
heart.
just see so many people when they miss a draw like that. That's the sort of sizing they use when they miss. And now I'm thinking, well, we got a call, but I'm completely wrong.
Yeah. I mean, if we jam, look how much pressure it puts on this king four, right? So, all right. Get one on the turn, but lose half on there. You get half a point.
Not a
Won't
problem. Thank
scam
you
me
very
on the
much.
grill too much. Dean.
Hmm.
Here we go. This one is
Hmm.
very interesting.
It is. I still think we can go for value. Two pairs good. Uh, but I'd probably just size down because like straights and flushes there, and I'm like kind of 55 with 33. I'd
Okay,
probably just go 55.
take a peek. So you're never checking this one back?
Uh, I'm not. No,
Okay.
I got
So
other
if you
stuff to
bet,
check back, like a king, any other king, ace king with no hot spade.
okay, if you bet 55 and you get raised here, what's your plan gonna be?
Against the solver, probably just call.
That's a good answer. What if Louis Philippe check raises you here?
Oh,
Just put it in the middle.
he's got nothing.
All right. Yeah. So this is the right size here. This is fraught with perilous waters, right? So if you are going for value here, you definitely have to have some caution, right?
Hmm.
And we can see all across our strategy, we're laden with caution, with completed equity. But again, why? Because our value can't bet very big here, right? Because our value is trying to get called by stuff that when we hold the ace of spades, what can our opponent call with here? They're very limited with what they can call with. So,
Hmm.
Does the
yep,
big blind have leads?
on this turn,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I wonder.
with the 10 of spades,
Yeah, it blocks a little bit of in position flushes.
yeah, a little bit, not quite enough.
Yeah.
If this is the ace of spades on the flop, maybe it does lead the turn here, but yeah. I guess he might not have ace jack because he's three betting ace jack as well, probably pre-flop at some element. So he loses the straight. So if he has the straight, maybe he does.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So if this is the ace, then he's gonna have a little bit more straight with king 10. So he might block a little bit or lead a little bit more. So good job. Get a good greedy
Oh,
size.
so sorry. Why do we check in 10? What is this? Black magic.
What is the check on this turn? This turn is so dangerous for us. Like we're way ahead. Here's a spot where we're way ahead or we're way behind, right? And so in those type of spots, we often dictate a lot of caution and we don't want to have to fold this hand. If we get check raised here, we're almost certainly going to be pushed out of this hand. And this hand doesn't want
No,
to fold, wants to
no bluff.
realize it.
But do you bet in game?
Yeah, yeah. In game, I would barrel small here, right? This is just really strong board for us, and we did see it, right? It's bet what it is betting. You have to be very cautious here, 55%, because I
Uh,
don't think people check raise enough on the turn without the nuts. So, yep. All right, Maturis.
oh.
Brick.
Check line doesn't really help us, to be honest. We may as well blast this. Like if
Okay.
we check, I don't know, like what we win versus 10. So if he has Jack 10, 10, 9, we only that way we can like somehow win a bigger pot. Basically,
Okay.
it's very difficult to EQR on the river if you check. So we blast turn. I
How
at least.
big?
So according to your heuristic, we just go geo. So whatever you choose pot.
85?
Yeah, maybe even front loading 125. This
1.25?
hand doesn't want to front load. It's so weird.
Yeah. So it's close. 85 or 1.25, both okay here. Right? This hand is checking a lot because you beat all the spade draws.
Nah,
So, yeah.
yeah, but on what rivers do you win?
How about this one?
Yeah,
Right.
he bets and we are like screwed. Like when we probe, it's always weird if it goes check check and like. Anyway, we bet. He calls.
Yeah.
We cleared him out of spades, so now we have to check.
Okay.
And we cleared him out of fives.
Just beat Jack 10, 10-9.
Yeah.
5-2. Oh, two pair. Arcturus. Okay, good job. All right.
You are muted.
There we go. Monotone board. Going to be hard to size up very much here, Dylan. What do you want to do with this Queen 10?
I think if we bet the flop and he's called the flop, we've got a decent flush draw. We've got two overs to the nine. We've got a gut shot. I don't see a reason to bet here. As you said before, that heuristic of the puzzle completing is on the board. So I'm gonna check here.
Okay. When we bet and he calls on this flop, what type of hands does he have?
He has some kings. He has a spade. He has some nines. I guess we can put pressure on a nine and a five by betting.
Hmm.
But so the flush is already completed, but he hasn't checked really.
So
Okay, so it's
did
going to be the same. It's going to be check up, maybe even bet bigger again then.
did the seven help him?
No.
Yeah. So his
Uh,
kings didn't get any better, really. If he has
okay.
one spade in his hand, the seven didn't help him. Uh,
And sorry to talk over you. I guess we get to
no,
put pressure on, like even his ace of spades. We get to put pressure on. I know it's not folding, but if we barrel that turn and the spade misses, then we can maybe get to bet again on the river and take the hand down.
okay. So, so yeah. So you wanted to check?
I don't now. Not after what you've just said. I don't. 'Cause
Okay. Okay. If you are gonna bet, what size are you gonna bet here?
it's half pot enough. What's behind 25? There's a flush on the board, so I thought we've said, yeah. I mean, I'm leaning towards a 55, but okay,
Okay.
let's do 55, and then I can learn if I get it wrong.
All right. I think you've been debated here because I think check is actually pretty reasonable, but I also think 55 is going to be the size we're going to use. And
Yeah,
yeah.
That is better, Peter. Like,
Yeah.
if you think of his range is like what we clear. We clear him out of fives, and we get called by Jack 8. It's like such a insane Mega Master.
Yeah.
You lose
Yeah.
versus 7-6 offset, right? Or 8-7, but
Yeah.
you so much win versus Jack 6 that it's illegal to check, I think.
Yeah. He's
thanks,
going to
Archer.
have,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, he's going to have 10-8 with the eight of spades here sometimes. So this is kind of like this weird mergey end where we're going to get called by worse and we're going to make better fold too. Right. So like he might give up with like ace jack of spades here or ace jack of diamonds here now. Right? So we're gonna get a bit of better to fold. He might give up with pocket twos with the without the spade, or pocket sixes without. Well, pocket six is gonna continue, but he might give up with a five now, type of thing. And so, yeah, weird spot
Okay.
where we're gonna get called by worse uh and
Yeah,
fold
like that.
better.
I was
So
really torn by that. I remember, like, I read one of your articles about realizing equity on the turn, and that drove
yeah,
me to try and check. But what Art says makes so much sense when you can get so many better hands to fold.
yeah. And still get value from worse, right? Straight draws that have a spade that like are losing to queen high right now still too. So
Yeah,
yeah, a really hard spot to turn, but also didn't get to use a big bet. Why? Because the puzzle's already slightly solved with both the straight and the flush being down here. So we are in a spot where occasionally we're absolutely crushed here too. So, but good spot to find a bet. And player folds, and yeah, that's exactly what we wanted to make fold. 6-5.
yeah, that makes a lot of
So
sense.
yeah,
Thank you both for that.
no problem. All right. Dean,
Or
what do we want to do here?
hmm, I want to give up.
Okay.
It's still like the eight's bad, like not just the eight of spades, but the eight.
Okay.
Yeah, just
So
check.
yeah,
It's
here's
probably
this.
it's probably the bottom of our range though, but
Yeah.
mm, yeah, still just give up. We got a lot
Okay.
of single spades we can bluff with too.
Yeah. I don't mind giving up with a little bit of with some queen high here, right? I think maybe queen jack, queen 10, make yeah, some stuff that can it's so tough. Like, what could we cooler here anymore? Um, and normally when we think of this type of spot, I always kind of picture it as a hamburger, right? I want to bet my value at the top. I want to bluff my stuff at the bottom and then stuff with some marginal showdown. I want to check back. I'm not totally sold that this has marginal showdown, but let's take a
Yeah, I
peek.
mean,
If we were going to bluff this hand, how big would you bluff? 12, 8, 5?
hmm, not. I don't think we go 12. Ah, maybe though. Maybe eight because we still go big with like full houses and stuff and get called by flushes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Flushes and full houses and trips.
Hmm.
So let's take a peek, see. Checking is okay here and small because the puzzle is solved. The flush is down and the board paired, right?
Hmm.
Both of those things drive our sizing down, right? Board pairs, flush comes in, drives our sizing down. Don't get to blast like we like. So check back is also okay. And then we take a look at the solve here. We're going to see the descriptor of what I talked about with the hamburger. So here we have our stuff at the top bun that gets the bet for value. Here we have our stuff at the bottom, gets the bluff, and then all of the stuff with kind of marginal showdown is checking back here, right? And even notice it thinks pocket aces is a pretty marginal hand here, right?
Hmm.
And then third pair, pocket sixes is also a pretty marginal hand. So a pretty wide range of marginal hands here, and then clearly value, and then clearly bluffs. So,
And like Queen four, the bottom of our range, like I thought.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
makes sense.
queen four here. So not
Hmm.
great. It is bottom of range. It is going for it with all of the ones except uh yeah, except the hearts, right? Hearts are really bad. We want our opponent to have hearts here. So check is reasonable and you get a four on the river. Do you want to do
Yeah.
anything with this four?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, just turn the hand up and get
Yeah.
a point. Easy game today.
Hmm.
All right.
Arcturus gets the good ones.
Arturas.
I don't know, like, let's check.
Okay. Just check. Yeah, check is okay here. Again, puzzle solved. We don't get to polarize big. And then river, he's milking you, Arturas.
So our catchers, what, not great, no?
I mean,
He said better when he's queen, no?
yeah, he's gonna have some fives, he's gonna have some threes.
Versus what do we win?
Do you win 9% of the time here?
Does he block like his seven of hearts?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely could.
I don't know, it's just a spot. I felt folding, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, fold is okay here. It wants the call, but like it's -1 point. Like this is I see. I do this in the hand when I know that my opponent has ace high. I know they're gonna call a lot of the time. I just throw in one and a half chips type of thing. So definitely get the a half a point for crushing the turn and getting milked on the river. So
Turn barrelless. I don't know.
yeah.
It was barreling, but yeah.
So it's
Hello,
okay.
brothers.
Good afternoon, Bogdan.
It's not so bad on the grill today. So let's take a peek. Bogdan in the house now. We'll put him in the game.
Yes, please. You're my second table. Let's go.
All right, Bogdan. So what happens here is we see bet the flop and our opponent calls. We get to the turn. What do you want to do and why?
Nasty situation. Yeah, I know. Hmm. I'm gonna check and pass. Just gonna protect the chips. That's it.
Yeah, this one is easy. You're way ahead, way behind.
One of the two.
Hey, bets
15.
pot.
Wow. That's a fucking steal, but I can't call it. If we had at least one spade, yeah, different story. Folded, bro.
Okay, yeah. Easy point for Bogdan. Welcome to that game.
Thank you.
All right, Dylan. Oh, here we go, Dylan. Oh, well, you have kind of a marginal class hand.
Yeah, I just think it's an easy check back, to be honest.
Easy check back. Okay. If you were going to polarize, if you had a hand like King Jack, how big do you want to bet with King Jack here?
Okay, well, the straight is completed, but we want to die. We still got to try and deny equity to spades. Uh, what else? Yeah, Jack 10. How big? I just the heuristic you gave, where the board, if the puzzle's completed and it sort of has, so I'm guessing maybe half pot again.
Yeah,
We still get value from spades. We still get an eight to call. Um, if you're betting much bigger, well, you're just getting called by maybe even two pair.
yeah. So we'll take a
Um,
look at this one. And
Hmm.
let's take a peek. And so most of what we want to do is this 8.4 size. But uh so what about the 7 and the 6? Yeah, so 7 and 6, we're seeing it using the smaller size.
yeah,
And now, when we think about value that is vulnerable here, pocket aces, and now two pair goes in the value vulnerable bucket,
yes, you bet big.
right? So that's where our sizing comes up here. So King Jack, a little bit of sizing up, but mostly going, kind of 85% here type of thing. Why? Our threshold of value has changed a little bit because the board did complete some equity. And so it measures the value of the King 8 and King 9 as value and vulnerability. And when we come down here to uh, 8, 9, we also see value and vulnerability type of thing. So,
Two pair. Okay. Yeah,
yep.
if it has.
Either way, check in game, really good, really easy. And we saw Arcturus make a big fold here.
No, well, I'm not folding here. I don't think there's much value to raise, and I'm just going to flick in the call.
Okay. Uh, hmm.
Does he bet one big blind with like? Are we going to raise jacks and then he turns over king three? Like I understand he should maybe do that with an eight to nine.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we're going to leave a little value on the table here, but let's see. Yeah. A call is okay here, but yeah, a little bit of greed. It's okay.
Okay,
Again,
yeah, I'm too conservative. I guess he just doesn't bet that small if he has a decent king.
yeah, maybe a bit of a solver thing here too, but yeah, good enough. So I would be very tempted to raise in game because yeah, this is just a lot of debating. All right, Ian. Okay.
Uh, I just check. We got ah, yeah, I just check.
All right. So here I'm gonna I'm gonna talk a little bit in this type of spot. This hand I think is just a fine check back, but I think population finds check raises with kings more often, calls with tens and fives here.
Hmm.
So I think this queen is gonna run into a king sometimes, but is gonna get value from a 10 and a 5 often enough. But I still think this is going to be a profitable bet, even
Yeah,
though it's kind of marginal here.
I just think the kicker problems, like like if we
Sure,
had Queen Jack or something, is that really good? Even Queen Nine, because we can still get beat by Queen Eight, Queen Nine, or Queen Nine at least that called us on the flop.
sure. Yeah, your opponent could have queen nine here. So yeah, Arturis is trolling me. Kamikaze, no kicker, relax. I know, check. But I'm so greedy. I want to get
We
some
can
more
look to
money
see
in
what,
this
like if
pot.
we do bet our other queens though,
Sure,
some other
let's take a
queens.
peek.
Queen Eight's
So
probably good.
Queen Jack. So probably the ones with the straight will play here. So
Hmm.
yeah, Queen Jack and Queen Nine, Queen Eight a little bit type of thing. So yeah, if you're out here betting Queen Seven, I mean you're living in the slivers. But I gotta admit,
But actually, Ace Queen checks a lot. That's pretty.
yeah. So Ace Queen, it you block what your opponent to be floating here, which is Ace X.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to have an ace in this spot, right? Like you can see Ace 10 is also just pure checking here too.
Yeah.
Right? And it's gonna do a few other things with like some tens and stuff as well. So yeah, ace is not really good. You want your opponent to have an ace. So
So what, we
all
get
right.
the hero called by 10, by what? Like what tens are calling us?
So let's
I
take a
mean,
peek at
five
that.
has to call probably even.
So
Maybe
No,
when we
no, no
bet,
fives.
Ace Five's folding. Really?
Yeah. I will
so
fold anyway.
yeah, when we really look at what we're targeting here, this is the type of stuff we are targeting, right? So
Yeah, so it folds all 10, so we get like only it's because 10 is uncapped. If 10 is capped, then we probably don't get to bet. But it's a rainbow
yeah,
board, it cannot be capped.
yeah,
Uncapped is for flush draws.
we mostly just get value from all the spades that I have to call here. So
So
probably not.
can you make a wait 1 sec?
Yeah, right. If we exclude spades, yeah,
Yeah, can you make it heart or diamond queen on the
sure.
turn? It's very subtle change, very small, but I just wonder.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, everything is gone.
Uh huh.
yeah. So
So five is still uncapped. And how's our betting volume on the turn? Cutoff.
yeah, and then
No,
the
no,
rainbow.
show cutoff on the turn. If we are still merging with queen nine.
Yeah, on the rainbow one, even the seven and the six are betting now, right? Because he has less flush draws to be able to continue with
Hmm.
equity, right? So that is the Queen of Hearts. Yeah, the rainbow pushes these guys back in the pot. So
Okay.
yeah, either way, good job. Checking back, and all right, he win
Uh,
21% of the time.
ugh. Yuck.
Mhm.
Fold.
Okay.
They can bluff me.
Yeah, you got bluffed a little bit. That's okay. Oh, exactly
Him
what
to
we were
cutoff.
afraid of on the turn, Queen nine. I would have value on myself. All right. You should get a point. I should lose a point here. Put myself in here.
It's actually pretty cool to bet. I'll look into it.
All right. Uh, Here we go. Another Queen nine scenario. All right, what are we gonna do here?
It's me or not?
Yeah, yeah, you're up, Arcturus.
Oh, terrible turn. We are
There,
absolutely cooked. We can make force maybe fold, but we, I don't know. Let's check. Screw it. We even block his folds.
yeah. Well, he still has ace deuce, ace three, ace four here, right? Still two. That is now bricked
Uh,
off.
Now you want me to bet, to be honest.
Yeah.
We clear out of a7 of hearts, that's for sure. Yeah, let's bet. It's
Yeah.
we can delay bet river or we can bet here. It doesn't matter. I think.
Yeah. He still has sixes, sevens, and eights here too, right? So, okay. Yeah. Needs to barrel this turn because we can
Yeah, yeah.
still make ace high fold and we can still put a lot of pressure on sixes, sevens, and eights.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Okay,
barrel.
makes sense. Makes sense. I'm just rusty.
Yeah. And oh yeah, chop them off same hand. All right. Arcturus, that was a tough one. You only lose half a point. Bogdan, what do you want to do with this queen jack?
Oh, or no pass. Check pass.
Check it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it is.
Okay. Five is pretty bad for us here.
Yep.
Okay, this is our best queen. Maybe our best queen can check. Yeah, best queen is okay.
Or crazy bet. Yeah, I was
Okay.
expecting that as well. And fold. We didn't hit shit.
Okay.
Easy pass.
Easy game, easy game. Bogdan scores too good. All
Thank
right.
you.
How much? Sorry, how much was it betting on the turn when the five paired?
Okay,
Sorry.
so when we think about this, this is the Rainbow Five. So this is something that we are going to be pretty active on because all of his flush draw stuff that floated didn't pick up any equity.
Yeah,
So when we take a look at our turn strategy, the five is bad for us because it pairs the bottom card, which is the stuff that he's most likely to check call with, and the big blind is well represented with it. When we have a five, we're going to want to bet kind of medium type of size. And because we are betting infrequently, we are going to be betting large. And then we have some bluffs that are going to do it with like some stuff wrapping around the king, and then a bit of value with aces, kings, ace, king, king, queen suited type of stuff. So, yeah, not betting very frequently. And when we do bet, we're going to bet large in this type of spot. So, because we are hyper polarized. All right, so check, check, and we get that. Away we go. All right, Dylan, what do you want to do with this?
okay. I mean, we could check, but I don't tend to check full houses. I'm gonna probably just gonna bet reasonably small, but I guess we're gonna be more polar on the turn. How much is out there? 10. Yeah. I don't want to fold out all his flush draws. I don't want to fold out his pairs between sevens, eights. I don't want numbers to fold. The king isn't folding, and there's a flush draw there. I don't know what to do with the size. I'm not checking. I don't want to check.
Okay.
I want to make the pot bigger to try and get it in the river. And what do we do on the turn? I just don't know how much to bet. Like if I bet half pot, still all his kings continue, his flush draws continue. I don't want to bet any. I don't want to bet massive and then him to fold out stuff. I'm going to say half pot. I guess it will have some checks just because we have like if the effective nuts we're not going anywhere. But I'm still going to bet. I'm going to bet 55. It might be smaller, but I'm going to bet 55.
Yeah,
It might be.
55 is good here. Again, right? Board pairing drives that size down, so we don't get to use the big polarized size, but we do get to continue betting a lot here. This hand needs to build the pot. So he's probably he's never gonna fold a king. probably going to continue with some flush draws. He also still could have like some sevens, eights, nines here that have to continue against this 5-6 board. So, all right,
How much have we got
river.
behind? 21. And he's called the turn. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm probably just going to rip it all in the middle now and hope we get called by a king.
Okay, a little greedy, but I like it. Greedy is good. Yeah, little greedy, big
Too
size, but
greedy.
yeah, it's okay. And yeah, in game, this is just fine. So yeah, all right. Uh, let's see about the configuration.
I think you gave my
Boards.
point to Dean, but it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. You still have enough king boards. Let's go. I card Queen Jack 10. There we go. Okay, we'll do it that way. All right. Okay. Oh, what did I do to mess this one up? Oh, because we're way back over here. All right. Custom. Turn. Check. Cut off. I've gone and messed up this drill. Two. Call. Check. Cut off. Start training. There we go. All right. Now we see some buttons. All right, Arcturus, welcome back to version 2.0. Now, without king high boards, what do you want to do here?
Check. It's a big bet board, no? Or is it deep stack? Big bet board? I don't know. Anyway, we give up.
Okay, giving
Blast.
up and laying down. Not what
Oh
we're gonna
my
do with
god.
king four. Bottom of range, right? So our jack high, our 10
King.
high has more equity. This is very bottom of range. So go for a little scam bet. How
Oh
we
my
get?
god.
Yeah. Oh, stack to pot ratio is what? Are you gonna punt to stack, Arcturus?
Okay, back to a spot. Um, so what? We bet turn, we bet flop. Oh
Bet
my
flop, bet
god.
turn.
What is his range? What do we make fold?
Or the
We
flush
clear
draws
him
fold.
out of, like, the problem with flash draws is that every draw is combo draw. So we only clear out of like 5-4, 6-5 calling turn, Jack freeze calling turn. Like we didn't clear any flash draws in that turn.
Yeah. Ace 10 of spades only, really. Maybe king 10 of spades.
Anyway, we got a jam. He has every draw, and we unblock folds.
There you go. Good job. And you
Show
just get
turn. What
scammed.
is this black? Show
Yeah,
turn.
sure. So we'll take a
I'm
look at
so
the
upset
turn.
because I didn't even think of
I'll be
betting.
right back.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to be too upset. But yeah, very, very active here on this turn, right? It's completed equity that's really in our favor. And yeah, all these low kings are going for it here. So
5-4 bet. Come on, relax.
yeah, 5-4, and all the ace four, ace five, king four, king five, all of this type of stuff is going for it here because we have so much value that's here in the middle. So yeah, so here's a spot where we have really large buns, right? Lots of value bucket here, and lots of bluffs, and very small marginal made hands, right? Really kind of centered around an eight or a low pair, because even
Yeah,
our second pair,
every ace is bluffing. It's so
yeah,
absurd.
yeah. So our ace high is much well represented here too. So, yep. All right.
Uh,
Only a half a point scam for Arcturus today. Bogdan, let's see what you are going to do. All right. What do you want to do with this Queen Jack?
Hmm. I'm back. Um, we can trick one to see
Check
if they
what?
fold.
Or bet?
Trick. We bet something, but fuck. I have to
How big?
be like super big.
Paired
Hmm.
board. You want to bet super big?
Sometimes it works, but against machines, I don't know. Let's check it. Let's see what they do.
All right.
And I'm
Check is
expecting a
okay
bet.
here. Bet is pretty big if we do bets, but
Yeah.
yeah, I would check it out here with this type of hand.
Exactly the size I was thinking about. It's something.
Okay. Uh, turn goes check check, and he checks the river. What do you want to do in
Okay,
the meantime?
nice. We have to bet because we don't win. That's for
Okay.
sure. And let's go for 3.5. Lovely. A block bet, basically.
Okay. So yeah,
Ah,
then yeah,
no, bet
just checks
bigger.
it up. No, this is the right size. If you're gonna bet, this is the right size, but it's just giving up with this hand pure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay. So it was
Hmm.
reasonable, and yeah, lose this. Okay, so it's okay. Have fun. You're all right. Uh, Dylan. Oh, Dylan, you're in Value Town.
I'm going to bet, uh, unlike the last one where I had the full house, I'm going to bet bigger here because we're still susceptible to spades. I know we have a blocking spade in our hand. We're still susceptible to hearts.
Okay,
There is a backdoor straight draw that's come. So the board's a bit more dynamic. So I'm going to bet a bit bigger, I think. So I'm not doing a third this time. I'm going to bet at least half a pot here, I think, if not bigger, at least half.
okay. Maybe
Um,
five.
maybe 85. But then we still got so much of the board. Um, okay, I'm going to go half pot. We still got, yes, there's draws there, but we still got a huge amount of the board. Yeah,
Okay.
55, please.
Do you think this is the size you would choose with 9, 10 of hearts?
A good question.
Or would you want a bigger size with 9, 10 of hearts?
Uh,
That's going to be the measure here.
and I was just thinking about value and vulnerable rather than the
Yeah.
uh,
But the other piece of that is value and vulnerability wants to size up, but then you also have to have bluffs that correspond with that.
yeah. So like 9, 10 of hearts, and then obviously 9, 10 of hearts can get a four to fold and put pressure on other pairs to fold.
Okay,
Uh,
let's take a peek. Yeah. So value and
you
vulnerable
were right.
sizing up here. And your bluffs need a little bit more equity to get over the hump here because
Yeah.
people are going to be pretty sticky on this board. So let's
Yeah.
take a peek.
I've got to think more about that range rather than just having that actual hand with the queen.
Yeah. Polarizing turn is really, really hard to figure out. It's one of the things that I train the most with students on, right? And so here we see most of our range actually wants to bet here in this type of spot, right? And
Yeah.
we're pretty robust with it, only checking 35%. So as we bet more and more frequently, our size also kind of naturally comes down. And so we see a good representation of the 55% and a good representation of the 83%. And so when we take a look here, the stuff that wants to bet the smallest, full houses, quads, and some of our trips, and then some of the thin value. So second pair, third pair, under pairs, right? Jacks, tens, nines, right? Opponent has to call with lots of stuff. So all of these small things want to get called by flush draws, and so they kind of price flush draws in because you need unpaired hands to be beaten by these small pairs still. Yeah, and then some king high and some ace high and some unmade hands also doing it. Ace high also checking back all your best aces here, just trying to get to showdown. So a weird spot full of all kinds of bets, but yeah, good stuff. All right, so we bet. And we get the full house on the river. Stacked pot ratio is 1.5. How big do you want to bet here and why?
I'm always too guilty of just ripping it in, but like, what are we going to get called by? Um,
Hmm,
if we jam, yeah, okay, a four, ace four probably calls, or certainly considers calling, but
sure.
I'm trying to learn from the last one when it went a little bit smaller. I'm so used to just ripping it in and not thinking about it, but I guess that could be wrong.
Okay.
How much has he got behind? What are we going to get? So I'm torn between jamming or one size smaller. I don't want to go any smaller than that. Um,
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
I'm going to bet yeah, let's bet the purple size in slightly thing, but it might well jam.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some mix of actually all three of these, but let's take a peek. Before we do though, what size would you pick with 9-8 of hearts here?
Yeah, because we're not again in game. I'm very guilty of just ripping it in and saying to myself, if they've got it, they've got it. But maybe that's the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah,
They
so
don't
let's
have a
take a peek.
yeah,
Yeah,
so it is
it
just
is just
ripping it
going
in.
all in
Yeah,
here.
to be honest, that's what I tend to do. Game is to put it in and just put maximum pressure on them.
Yeah, and so when we take a look at the range component on the river, right, there is a little bit that's going this type of size here, right? Like look at pocket kings going for thin value.
Oh my,
And then when you have a four, you take this size too, right?
yeah,
You're, so this idea here, the non-all-in size, is really looking to get thin value and try and get called by some stuff. Let's take a peek at what calls here. So we could see that our opponent calls when they have a seven or a five or some ace highs here, even when you go take the non-all-in size.
yeah,
When you go all in here, now they just mostly fold out their sevens. They're folding out a four here occasionally, right? And they're calling less with ace high. So
yeah.
pretty good in terms of solver size. So yeah, good stuff. All right. Dean, stuff it in. Ace 10. Let's go. All right. Oh boy.
Yeah. Hmm. Having the ace kind of sucks to get value from an ace.
Mhm.
I'd probably bet small. It might even be a check back. I'd bet like two, maybe three.
Two or three? Okay. Yeah, I mean,
But I
board's
can
so
see a
locked
check
up.
back too,
Yeah. I
just because
think,
we're blocking like what we want them to call with. Like an eight
yeah,
nine would be a better to bet than ace eight, I think.
excellent rationale. I really like your rationale here, and I do really like a check back with this hand. So,
Yeah, let's go check back to you. I think it's good.
yeah, check back primarily. Again, if you do, little half pot, right?
Mm.
So, even we see this, right? Like we see that flop C bet. We just don't really see very much of this. This is something, another thing, like I have some students when I first start working with them, and they're so afraid. They're like, okay, on the turn, I don't know, I don't want to risk a lot. I'm gonna bet three chips, right? And so
Hmm.
failing to polarize on the turn is a bit of a problem with some students. And so yeah, recognize our small size on the turn, gonna be half pot a lot. So but yeah, I do really like this check back, and we set ourselves up very nicely here. All right.
Any over bets? Oof, just
Yeah,
call. I mean, on the board.
Yeah. Easy game. Easy game. Right? Look how torching it
Hmm.
is to stick it all in here. And Queen
Oh,
8, what a
super full house.
scam. But again, really good check back on the turn. Way to not get stacked. Right? Yeah.
Hmm.
That is worth an extra point to 05. Total scam evasion. All right, Arcturus.
check.
Giving up with 7-5?
Yeah, Yeah, I'm not targeting anything.
Okay, giving up is okay. Notice board pairs in the middle, really going to be small oriented. And oh, all right, are you turning this into a bluff or are you going home?
Blue?
Yeah, easy fold. Little bit of scam. I'm never turning this one into a bluff. I want a diamond in my hand. Yeah, just get
Diamond is
nine.
kind of not relevant. Like a 10 maybe is better or something.
Yeah. All right, Bogdan. Is this good for
Yeah,
us or bad for us?
really bad.
Is it?
I
Okay.
mean, from all we know, he could fucking have it, No, the
Okay.
flush, I mean.
Don't
So
you
I'm just gonna check and pass.
checking? So note pre-flop when we raise, the king is the best card for us. And so usually when a king turns, we are going to be very active with our range here. And this is a funny spot, right? We can see the king is so good for us. Lots of our range wants to bet here. But the nature of completing the straight and completing the flush means the puzzle has been solved and we don't get to use a very big size. When we take a look at the turn and all the possible cards that can come here, we can see the ace we want to bet a lot, and the king we want to bet a lot. The jack and the queen are still good for us. 10 and the 9 we have to be a little more cautious on. And then look at the cards that we're going to polarize the most. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. All the cards that are complete bricks for this board, 10, 9, 6, we are going to polarize on. 7 and 8, not polarizing. Very dangerous. We are going to use the small size only, 55% and even a bit of 33%. Right? So, but again, those are obviously four liners. They're going to be very easy to read. We're going to have to size down. And then the spade completing also sizes down here. So we see all over bets in this block. When it's the spade, we lose all the over bets and we just have the 83 or 55% size. Same here at the top, right? We see all these purple bets here betting 85% pot. But when it's a big spade, we just size down one category. And so finding overbets on the turn are going to be really driven by bricks for the board. So welcome back to our theory lesson. Checks back, gives up a little bit, get the ace on the river, player bets. What do you want to do with this hand, Bogdan?
Fold it. No, bro. We fold.
Oh, easy fold, easy
Yep.
point.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. What do you want to do, Dylan?
Oh, it's back to me. Apologies.
No worries.
We have a gut shot. We have equity. The three pairing isn't amazing because he's not folding a nine. Um, what can we get to fold? Some ace highs we can get to fold. So it's going to between check and bet bigger again. Check are we just giving them? We got equity. I, I think it's going to mix between checking and betting big. It's flush draw
Okay.
straight for there, but the paired board does drive the size down slightly. So I'm gonna say like check or maybe half pot, maybe slightly bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, half pot will go.
Yeah. This three is really bad for us, right? Like he check calls with a lot of threes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check is really, really good in this type of spot. And so, in a spot where we're not going to bet very often because the card that came is really bad for us, we can see 64% of our range is going to check, and we are now going to be condensed in this narrow area where we're going to be able to go for value. We can't overbet because the card is too good for our opponent. But because most of our range is checking, we're betting in frequently, we're still
We
going to
bet bigger.
use a larger size. And
Yeah.
so this is, if you go back and you go through like Jonathan Little's masterclass, right? He talks about nut advantage and range advantage. And when you don't have the nut advantage anymore, right? You are going to be betting infrequently and large. And that's what
Yeah.
we see with this little example here.
Just checking actually bet bigger. Yeah.
Yep. Check and bet bigger and pot and a half. Ooh.
Uh,
Do you want to see what 3-4 looks like, or do you want to fold this hand?
he has some threes, but he has the 10's not brilliant either. When we unblock spades, which is something to consider, we have the 10, but we got third pair on a paired board with a straight on it, and the sizing makes me want to fold. I'm just going to fold, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
fold, please.
Yeah, okay. So he's never doing this with a 9, right?
No,
He's probably not going to do this with a 10.
no. So to me, it's like King Jack of spades or a three.
Yeah. So King Jack or King Queen type of thing for
Yeah,
value. So yeah. And yeah, having the king here is pretty bad type of thing. Right?
yeah.
So yeah. And he bluffs us. But look at this great river bluff. You see check, check. And then this is something that, Louis is a big proponent of. When the spot goes check, check, finding this over bet on this river, going to put a lot of pressure on us when we have a 9 or a 10. So good job. All right, Dylan, and your 6.05. What do we want to do here?
Um, hmm.
So I think it's Dean now. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, Dean. That is 6.05.
Hmm. Hand pairing's not great. We still got, but we still got that straight draw too and a top pair. Hmm. I think it's like check or bet 55, but I want to check back this hand.
Okay. Hmm. It's interesting. He's going to have lots of equity hands that we're still beating here, right? That floated. King, queen
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff. King nine. So yeah, tough spot here. He's also gonna have worse spades. He's gonna have ace X of spades here. We can get
Mm-hmm.
value this is a tough one because I think we can still get value from lots of hands here.
And we can
So,
call it check raise too, right?
I mean, if we get check raised, it's never very pretty, but we
No.
have outs. Yeah, I would be very tempted to bet 55 with this here still. But let's take a peek. I don't think check is going to be bad. Like, EV wise, it's just fine. But yeah,
Yeah,
really kind of
55.
leaning on this. So all the stuff that doesn't check raise us on the flop, he's still here with. He's still here with a 10 in his hand. He's still here with an 8 in his hand. Jack 9. So I think if we have a hand like Jack 6, I think it's going to pure check back here. So let's take a peek at that. The ones that can't improve.
And plus, he probably donks a lot of his tens, right?
He definitely
Top
could have
end.
some leading frequency. So we take a look, and yeah, he is leading at some frequency here, about 20% of the time. Right. And so yeah, when he checks, now we can see here we're checking about half the time. When we are betting primarily small here, right? Because you know, there is locked up equity. The puzzle has been solved. So we don't get to go really big here. Notice the thing that it kind of thinks of as the best but vulnerable hand that wants to size up is actually when we hold the straight, right? The straight is very vulnerable on this board. And
Mm-hmm.
so we don't often think of it that way, but yeah, here's a spot where even if you find an overbet, you got to find the overbet with the straight. But really, it's just going, 80% pot. Going pot here on the straight with the straight is pretty reasonable on the turn.
It's interesting that we bet Jack nine, but we check back Queen Jack.
Yeah. Yeah, so we need him to be floating the queen, right? So we need
Yeah,
him here
Queen
with
Queen.
like queen five and stuff like that and king
Mm-hmm.
queen. So the queen is really bad here. Nine is really good. All right. So if we snarl the turn, bet small, what do we do on this river?
Hmm.
Brickiest card in the
It is
deck.
a brick. It is a brick. And we didn't get check raised on the turn. Can we get value from an eight?
Hmm.
But for how much? Uh, I'll probably go like 13. I don't
Yeah,
think we need to go huge.
SPR is 1.5. Like we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
very oriented towards jamming here.
Hmm.
If we're very oriented towards jamming, is this hand good enough to jam?
I don't think so.
Okay. Would you jam ace jack?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a peek at that. I wonder what's a better jam, ace jack or jack nine here? Because ace jack is stronger against some marginal jacks, but doesn't block the straight.
Yeah, box the straight, I was gonna say.
And so, yeah, jack nine and ace jack both just checking back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, going for it with sometimes checking back pocket kings here too. Seems a little bit snug on my end of things, but yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty snug.
Yeah, and you can see we can't really use this size nearly so much here. We're more polarized in this spot, and it's just going all in or betting
Mhm.
three quarters.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and so here we see usually on the river, there's a more settled equity, and so you wind up with a larger checking range of marginal made hands here, right? And so it thinks of like pocket kings as a marginal made, and it thinks of like king four as like a marginal made. You just beat some flush draws and straight draws that get here with these hands. So yeah, all your ace high is just checking back. So yeah, interesting. Pocket kings checking back and ace high checking back. That marginal
Hmm.
made hand is really a wide range in this type of spot. So yeah. Checks back a jack and
Okay,
had
yeah,
trip hands. Yeah, just waiting in the weeds for us.
yeah.
All right. Arcturus, marginal made hand here. What do you want to do?
Check.
Easy game. And do you win 27% of the time here?
No,
Okay.
closer
So
to zero.
what's the worst hand that you call here? Queen Jack?
I like 10 is good enough, I think.
Okay.
Like 10.
10 of spades? Okay.
I like any 10. Wait, he is betting. He doesn't have flushes here, right?
He could. I mean,
I
you,
don't know. Like, you bet every king on the river, so.
yeah. So his strategy is bet everything except a 10 or an 8.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Show filter, 1 second. So 50% of flushes checking.
Yeah.
Straights betting. That's it.
Yeah. So his spades are betting mostly, so he has lots of garbage here too.
Anyway, so when he big bet, I'm pretty screwed even with FaceTime logic.
Yeah.
Hand is like pretty good catcher, what?
Yeah. 10's 8's not good enough. 10 is needed here, but it's turning a 10 into a bluff here sometimes too, right? Some of them are flushes, but
Oh,
some of them are bluffs. Yeah, here you're less inclined to call with ace 10 or jack 10. So ace 10, yeah. Jack 10, yeah. Okay. Easy game.
So wait, if big blind checks when we don't bet every king on the river, open.
Uh, if he checks, let's take a
Yeah,
peek.
yeah,
He doesn't
because
check
if
very much, but yeah, he's very capped with his checks. King, if he checks, yeah, every king always
right,
falls for it. And yeah, you just all the spades go put us box us up.
okay.
So if you want to bet a king, you have to bet fold your king, which is pretty tough. All right, bug then. What do you want to do when your when your two pair gets counterfeit?
Indeed. Um, I'm gonna check raise. Mhm.
Okay, check. Good.
Yep.
All right. Player bets 3 chips.
13.
Raise for value.
Yep. Of course.
Okay. Little bit
Ah, just
greedy
call.
here. Just call is
Yeah.
okay. Gonna be hard to get called by better because like all the queens are the same, right? Queens and jacks with a 9 kicker. Your 9 doesn't help you, so yeah, you're just trying to push them off a chop. But yeah, chop it up, so it's okay. So good job. You got one. Half
Thank
point
you.
for you, Dylan. All right.
Okay.
Is the
Yeah.
puzzle solved, Dylan?
Yeah. This is a horrible spot. I tend to stab with this hand on the flop, trying to just get folds immediately, and then often I just give up on the turn. So
Okay.
I'm still ahead of some of his spade draws. We're not getting what better hands are we getting to fold? Um, I'm going to lean towards checking here. Yeah, I'm going to check, and if I get it wrong, then that's fine.
I think this one's pretty okay to check back because I do think we are beating some stuff here. But we start getting some stuff to fold. I tell you, I like to barrel, but maybe this one doesn't get a better ace high to fold. So I think this is,
That was sort of my thinking. What better race is going to pass?
yeah. Again, look at the sizing, little half pot, not blasting.
Yeah.
Check, check. And he bet pot and a half.
Okay. I'm just going to fold now because he's going to have plenty of queens that he's just going to check call with on the flop.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Got
Combo
us.
draw. Okay. This is the type of spot where if we bet the turn, we can check back river and we just win this hand, but as played,
Yeah.
like, and then this is okay too, right? So both lines are GTO approved, but barreling this turn, remember, when he calls the flop, he's condensed to having a pair or a spade in his hand because he check raises some 2 spade combos and he check raises some queen combos, but not very many. So he's just more condensed to having one pair or one spade. So,
Yeah.
yeah, uh, good spot. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, puzzle is super solved. What do you want to
Super
do with your
solved.
poor high flush?
I like to check it.
Okay.
I don't think, I mean, we can get value still from, no, I don't think we can get value from much 10x or anything. I think
Okay.
just check, yeah.
Check is pure. Check is good. All right. Surely you can't
Um,
check a flush 2 streets, can you?
I can. I want to, but
Okay.
just I don't see how we can bet it and get called by a five or anything really
What if he just has an 8?
that he called the flop with.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah,
Yeah, hard for him to have eight, right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, all right. Check is good. Hard for him to have an eight. So
yeah.
yeah, just had a five. So good job. Not only do you get a point, eight, I'm gonna lose a point for being exceptionally greedy again.
I wonder if they
Greedy,
would have called
greedy.
that Queen five though. You probably fold though.
Let's take a peek at that one. We'll explore this briefly, see what type of stuff is calling here. So the river size, uh, we take a look at our river size here, and our river size is going to be mixing six or eight. So we'll see what type of stuff we calls if he does this. So he does call a little bit of third pair. He calls all his tens here. He calls a few fives. So yeah, we could get value from a 10 here. That's what we're looking for.
Mhm.
All right, Arcturus. Oh, puzzle not solved. What do you want to do with Queen 10?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not happy with the kicker. With King 10, we for sure like front load. With this Queen 10, it's sketchy. So in between 80 and 120,
Yeah,
whatever you like.
yeah, yeah. I think with the Queen 84, I think with the King definitely 12. Let's take a peek. Yeah, both are good. Very good sizing, Arcturus. You don't get scammed, you might even get a bonus point. No, you do get scammed. Okay, good enough. Bogdan,
Yeah, bro.
you got the
Ace
super
Jack with
nuts.
super nuts. Ah, on the turn already. I'm gonna check raise, bro.
Okay. He's checked. You're in position. What do you want to
Oh
do?
shit, didn't see that. In this case, carry on. 555 to be inviting.
55. Yeah,
Shit, even bigger. Okay.
it's okay. Equity is pretty close here, so going a little bit smaller is okay, but just sizing up a bit. So one of the ideas, we have need to generate some fold equity with our bluffs, and he does. He folds the deuce. Okay, fine for Bogdan. Dylan. All right, Dylan, what do you want to do?
We have the straight. Like, I think it's good to bet big now because okay, there's some full houses there, fine, whatever. But we definitely getting at least called by a seven. A ten's not folding. Um, yeah, it's a pretty dynamic board. I'm gonna choose the 83% here. I
Okay.
I guess some people are gonna check. I don't want to check this board. I want to load the money in now. Yeah, I'm gonna bet that size.
Yeah. So when we think of value and vulnerability here,
Yeah,
right? If we have trip sevens, we're probably going to choose this size, right? The
yeah.
straight's a little more resilient.
So I
So
don't need
let's
to
take a
size up.
peek.
Yeah,
Also, the board pairing drives down the size for
yeah.
our tens, right? So yeah, we see a little bit of king seven starting to use this type of size, but not very much is using this
It's too
this
big.
polarized size, right? We're largely just using the small size here, right?
Yeah.
55%.
And
And
we can't,
why?
I know it's unlikely, but we can just be dead. So by choosing that really big size, he's just going to flat
Yeah.
us with a full house, isn't he? And
Yeah. And like if he has trip sevens here, I mean, there can be some pretty scary rivers. Like we can escape on a 10 or a six river. So, um,
yeah, it's too big.
yeah.
I got
Okay.
too excited with our hand, I'm afraid.
It's tempting because we think of value and vulnerability. Okay. Pot stack to pot ratio is 1.5, and you have the straight. What do you want to do here?
Let me just check chords with it. What's left? So again, in game is checked me here. Often I'm just going to rip it in. Is that wrong? I don't know. Yeah, we lose to okay. We lose to Jack eight of spades. We lose to 7-6. We lose to sixes, 10-7. So is it good enough to stick it in? Yeah, wanted me to size down on the turn. Like obviously full house, we're sticking it in. Seven stick. But he has checked both times. Yeah, I'm still going to put it in. Let's put it in, and then when I'm wrong, I can learn again.
That's
Yeah,
okay. So yeah, so here, just gonna be hard for him to call here with a lot of stuff. He doesn't have any over pairs now,
yeah,
so he's just kind of got a 10 or a 7, or he's got nothing type of thing. So
yeah. So I've got to size down.
yeah, a little bit of size down, but ripping it in, not too bad. People get sticky, sometimes call with assists, so it's okay. All right.
So, if I need to size down, I need to size down. That's something to learn rather than just constantly sticking it in.
No problem. All right, Dean. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Get ready, Dean.
we basically got the nuts here, right? um, completed equity though. Mm, I'm going between like 55 and 80 something. I just we want to size up because they can have a lot of like just queen or jack that can call. Yeah, click the purple. We
Okay.
want our bluffs to be kind of big too, right? To fold out 9, 5.
Yeah, big purple's going to be good here. The king is really good for us, remember? So the king is
Yeah.
usually good for the pre-flop raiser. So our range is going to want to bet a little bit more here. And as we see our range betting more and more and more, we get to use the big size a little bit less. This hand specifically is the apex of uh the most amount of equity with the least amount of showdown. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
most likely to use this type of size. So I'm actually surprised that it's not using the big size a little bit more in this scenario. So let's take a peek here. And so what spades is it using the big size with here? Yeah, it's using it with an 8 and with a 6, but not with 8-6. Okay, yeah. I would use the big size here with 8-6 as well. And you can see, look at the range. Now, this is one of those really, really tough things. Just recognizing how much pressure this king puts on his very capped range that just check calls on this flop. When
Mm-hmm.
your opponent check calls this flop, they've got a 5, they've got a 9, they've got some spades, and they've got some straight draws. And this king is just really, really bad for them whenever they have a 10 or a 9 or a 5. They've just gotten their hand massively value decreased. They're also going to have to call with all kinds of draws. There's both completed straights at the top, but also incomplete straights at the bottom. And so yeah, just a spot where our range is going to put on a lot of pressure. We find we actually have one of the hands that checks back the most. It'd be pretty
Mm-hmm.
rare for me to check this one back. All right.
Here we go. Put on the all-in shoes. This is like our shittiest hand. Oh, wow, we
Yeah.
just checked back the spades, right?
Yeah. So here we block all the stuff we want him to have, right? We have spades, that's
Mm-hmm.
bad. We have the 9-5, 8-6, that's bad. So yeah. If we get here with like 8-6 of hearts or 8-6 of diamonds or clubs, we probably go for it. And this 8-6 is just going to be a pretty tough spot.
I mean, do we even like do like our king there, king queen or something that much? Yeah. All in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all sticking it in. And threshold for value, top pair.
And like you said, the 8 and the 6 right there, even king 8, king 6 doesn't like to bet like every
Yeah.
other king does.
Yeah. Yeah, having the 8 or the 6 here is really bad. You start contributing them towards having something else other than 8-6, and you want them to have an 8 or a 6 in their hand because then they
Hmm.
can only have one pair, right? So
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, yeah, some
Damn.
pretty neat stuff with that one. Okay,
I
okay,
just say
okay.
giving up. I just say give it up.
All right, Arcturus.
Oh, sorry. Can you show this on the turn? Was
Hey,
it?
we got a fold though at a
This
nine.
one on the turn? Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the king
missed.
on the turn was going to be very rangy here.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. But was there any 83?
yeah,
Okay, there is.
yeah, lots of
I wasn't
83 and
sure
lots of
how to split
55,
here.
right?
Okay, okay, thank
Yeah. Okay. And
you.
yeah, the thing that it thinks of as most vulnerable here is the overpair, right? Everything else is pretty evenly split. So, all right. Pocket tens. What do you want to do here? Just check back,
Okay.
Arcturus?
Uh,
Or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
greedy?
I'm not greedy.
Not greedy, not greedy. PD is greedy. Okay.
I should bet more actually. I like your betting strategy.
Yeah. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to bluff catch with these pocket tens on this four liner?
Oh, no, no, what do you mean?
No, no, folds, he says. Turns it into a bluff, even completely savage. Blocking 9-10 turned it into a bluff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tough spot. But gonna be noodled by Queen 6 anyway. So you only lose half a point because you avoided the full scam, but I think you would have gotten scammed. All right, Bogdan.
Yes, bro.
Bottom card pairs.
A6.
Opponent checks. What do you want to do here?
We check also. Check and
Okay, check
let
it,
it
check it,
go.
check it. Yeah, ace high is okay, has a bit of showdown, wins occasionally. If he doesn't bet pot now.
Oh, we're
All
back
right,
here again. Yeah, fold it.
all right. Folding, folding, folding. Very tempting to call. Just shows you 5-4. Total scam avoider Bogdan.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
All right. So